You are standing on a vast green plain. Strange log fires are littered across the hillside, their pungent alchemical aromas rising through the air. Your eyes sweep the hillside and then come to a stop at the forest surrounding the hillside and to a tiny hut on the edge of the forest. Bainath undaf, Naharistunari, you hear the voice of the magus whisper through the cool autumn breeze as you stroll towards his little hut on the edge of the forest, excitement overwhelming you. You reach the hut, coming to a halt before the magus. The power of his presence is overwhelming. An ancient warrior and alchemist, he towers in height. Broad-shouldered and toned, his skin is sun-kissed, and his unruly hair, although so dark, is streaked with golden light. His remarkable, unusual eyes bear into your heart in an unnerving manner, as if they can see everything you're feeling or thinking. Today, you are going to remember the first principle of alchemy, the magus murmurs, watching you intently. Naharistunari, come with me, he declares, as he strides purposefully into the forest ahead, beckoning you to follow. You walk in silence, following in his footsteps, as the forest grows darker and the rustling of the trees intensifies. A sound of cascading water can be heard in the distance as you round a path and come to a stone well. The carvings in the stone are intriguing, however it's the glow emanating from the water that most draws your attention. Look into the well and tell me what you see, the magus demands, stepping close to your side as you lean over the stone wall and gaze directly into the water. Your heart expands, a sense of magic apparent in the air as you declare, I see a reflection of you and me. I feel a sense of enduring union as each individual droplet of water is melded into one body of water. What can part those droplets, he asks, watching your expression change. I'm not sure. They could be evaporated by the sun or divided by a dam. They could flow in different directions according to release mechanisms in the well. They could even be drunk, you laugh. As to how to part each one, how could you even know how small or large each droplet actually is, you ask? Precisely, the magus answers, beckoning you to sit by his side as he hands you a wooden cup to sip the water he has just scooped from the well. As you swallow, can you determine how many droplets you are drinking, he asks. No, you reply. That's impossible. Is it impossible? Or is it merely your perception that makes it impossible, he asks. Indeed, what does possible or impossible actually mean, if not an illusion that creates a series of rules that you follow? If creation is the bringing into form of an idea, then that idea has infinite possibility when it becomes matter. The rules that you apply to that matter are determined by you and you alone, by your perception. The reason you cannot determine the number of droplets is because your mind has told you that you neither want to nor do you need to. But I can assure you that if you decide that you want to, then you could devise a way to measure it, he speaks firmly. Well, if it is my perception that decides whether something is possible or impossible, measurable or immeasurable, divisible or indivisible, then surely the key factor is in fact my perception and not the item in question, you answer, as a broad grin spreads across his face. Very good, he speaks gently, a tinge of admiration in his voice. You have identified the first principle of alchemy. Perception is the layer of illusion that gives all matter mass. What? You exclaim. How can mass be deducted or created from perception, you ask, astonished. Shifting his position, the Magus leans forward, beckoning you to do the same. Clear your mind and focus on the water, he instructs. Mass is simply the density and form of matter. It has the same infinite possibilities of form as thought, he murmurs, as his eyes focus intently upon the water in the well. An intense silence sweeps through the forest in reverence to this great alchemist, as every tree seems to bend towards him to listen. The only noise that can be heard is coming from within the well. Gasping in astonishment, you watch the water swirl and dance as it begins to part. Drawing itself to the outer edge of the well, it sweeps gracefully up the sides in a purposeful, swelling motion, creating a bottomless ravine of black space in the centre. There is a very clear route for creation, the Magus begins speaking after some moments. The moment he does so, the water falls abruptly from the side of the well and gently moves back to its original still state. How did you do that, you ask? An idea is born from passion, a stimulus of the heart, he starts explaining. It is translated into thought at a speed so fast that it's undetectable to the human awareness. That thought becomes the bridge that creates matter, therefore making the idea become real, become reality. Are you with me, he asks. Yes, please go on, you urge, your eyes glistening with delight as you eagerly devour what he is sharing. Now, in the process of transference of thought to matter, something happens. The human mind generates fluctuating disturbances, thoughts that alter the flow of creation. These fluctuating disturbances are created entirely by perception, and perception is shaped by experience and conditioning. It is an illusion. We are subliminally conditioned in every moment which rules to place around our experience, and it is this that triggers our perception of what we believe has just occurred. That perception is dangerous because it alters our own true will and the course of creation. So this is why it is perception that gives matter its mass, you ask, because it's shaping an item's mass, its structure, as the item is created, and is doing so in accordance with someone's perception of what that idea actually looks like? The Magus nods his head in agreement. Then to become an alchemist, I must first learn to bypass the process of thought to matter and connect with the source of the stimulus from the heart, you ask rhetorically. Is that where true will resides? In the heart? How do I minimize or eradicate the effect of perception, you implore, yearning to do so immediately? The Magus throws his head back in laughter. Yes, that's where true will resides. To live by one's own true will is the first and the most important step to master alchemy. You see, you already are an alchemist. Yet the question is, are you creating what your will truly desires or what your perception deceives? The desire of will exists outside the realm of perception, and when intimately harnessed, expedites the alchemy of creation. That said, it is vitally important to still be connected to, however not driven by, the thought, the bridge of thought to matter. And this we will explore together in the second principle of alchemy, how to harness that true will, so that it is this that powerfully directs the clarity of your creation, he declares, as his voice begins to fade, and you return back to where we began, back to the chair you are sitting in, and slowly open your eyes.